I just want to. I got a raid.
Oh, that's why you never tell me why you got to be done by.
Because I know. This isn't as important, but
that's why you never tell me.
I gotta be.
Got it. Because I would probably make fun of you.
You probably should.
Uh-huh.
For this ridiculous soccer bet, apparently.
Make fun of you less for the soccer bet.
It's so ridiculous.
Oh, wait. I forgot to start the audio. Hold on. We got to do that again.
Rinse and repeat.
I mean, we're on YouTube, so this is a good start already. But
I mean, it wouldn't be Beerfield Fantasy.
Well, I think we're on YouTube. I don't know. Are we on YouTube?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. I haven't seen any. There we go. Okay, we are on YouTube. Hi, YouTube.
Hi.
Let's
you can tell.
Let's actually start the audio now.
Probably.
So the good news is nobody on the audio podcast just heard you say that we've got to be done in an hour so you can go do a raid.
No one on YouTube heard us talk about how I gotta go raid in an hour on World of Warcraft.
I mean,
no one knows that.
Yeah, now? Nobody.
Nobody.
I promise you, not a soul.
Not the one person. I'll have to let Twitter know this.
There's two now. Two now. Not a soul.
That's probably you and me.
No, because I get to see the console. There's somebody else here. Show yourself. Forgot to turn the audio back up. Welcome to Beerfield Fantasy Football. I am your host at Hot BFF with 2 P's. As always, joined by Theory BFF with 2 F's. You can follow us on Twitter at BeerfieldFF. You can catch us on YouTube, Beerfield Fantasy Football. We got a show today that we've got to get through in approximately 55 minutes because if nobody knows and nobody will know, I'm not going to sell you out like that, but Dan's got a raid. And I had a bourbon event tonight, so it's a weird week. We typically try to keep this free and clear of the other stuff that we have going on in life. And that was not the case this week. So, yeah, we're pretty much going to jump straight into this. I'm not even going to ask Dan how he's doing. We're just going to get straight to the question. Zeke and Amari Cooper, is it time to move on from them?
No. Not Zeke. I mean,
not Zeke.
You can't move on from a running back who's generally top 5 in opportunity share and has, I think, been averaging something like 5 targets a game. Like if you want to trade Zeke and try to move on that way, sure.
I think,
and the same thing with Cooper, but Cooper has also been a target hog, even with Dalton in.
Yeah, I mean him, and I didn't look this past week, but week before he and CD both had 10 targets. So, I mean, the volume's there for Zeke. I think the volume's going to be there. Look, it was rough. If they have to start DiNucci, it's all going to go to Zeke. So,
I don't think that'll happen. They got to sign somebody, right? They can't roll out their.
They never should have released
7th round pick.
Never should have released Mike White.
The fucking statue himself.
Well, yeah, actually, he would die behind that offensive line. Never mind.
He would. I got a beer today. Like, someone from one of our regulars brought in Hershey's Yingling.
Nice. I looked for that the entire time I was down south. Hold on, you're jumping the gun. Oh, shit, that's the wrong one.
This is what happens when we're put on a time crunch.
And damn it. Hit the wrong drop and got a copyright claim.
Oh, God, I love this podcast.
This is what happens when you jump into things before I'm ready, and then I get scared, and I'm like Andy Dalton behind the Dallas offensive line. I just get scared, and I get frantic, and I make bad decisions, and it doesn't go well.
So Kirk Cousins?
No, Dalton.
Same thing.
Nick Foles when he knows a play call isn't going to work.
Oh, God. Oh, no. It's Matt it's Matt Nagy when he has to make an actual call.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that. All right. Yingling, Hershey's. Got it. Wish I could have found some of that.
Yeah, I my boss comes up and goes, "You want to try this?" And I go, "The fuck I do, man. Let's go."
Lane,
so I've been holding on to this for about a week.
Lane, Zach.
Lane.
Yeah.
I guess one of the main regulars, I think, who's also a bourbon regular, brought some of this stuff back for us. He gave me this and then some New Glarus.
I have some New Glarus too. Spotted Cow?
Yes, sir. Always.
Have we had that on yet?
No. I'll probably say that for next week.
We should do a Spotted Cow episode next week. I got a 12-pack of it. We should do the same beer just for old time's sake.
Oh, I love it. Todd Gurley or Zeke? I say Gurley. Last time you played Panthers, you got 28 points.
Gurley, probably.
I mean, with how much an offense has been scoring, like
he's scoring touchdowns when he doesn't even want to.
he's so good he can will himself to score when he doesn't want to. That is what I call great.
Yeah, I'd go Gurley. All right. Well, while you're drinking that, do you have anything else to preview on that?
No, I mean,
what Hershey's Yingling is.
So for those of you that don't know who Yingling is, it's one of the oldest breweries in the States. They're oldest, basically. Sure. What's that?
I think they market themselves as the oldest, right?
I think they are the oldest. I think you are right. They basically paired up with Hershey's chocolate to make a porter.
They're both out of Pennsylvania, so
that makes sense.
Hershey's and Yingling.
Hershey's and Yingling, so that's what that is.
Both out of Pennsylvania, but weirdly Yingling's in Pennsylvania, but you get it mostly south. All right, I am drinking Fiesta Forever from Triptych.
The Amber Lager. Nice.
Yes, the Amber Lager. So I actually forgot to throw the beer in the fridge that I wanted to have this week, so I got this one instead. But I'm not disappointed by it. Hadn't put it on the show yet. Just bought it for myself to drink, and here we are. So, yep, Fiesta Forever from Triptych. Amber Lager, Triptych out of Savoy, Illinois. One of my favorite craft breweries. I don't think I'd had anything from them for a while. Started distributing down in St. Louis, so that makes me happy.
Nice.
All right. Looking through some of this early news before we get into previews, we're going to mostly skip a review. Cheers, fellas. Sipping on some Woodford Reserve this evening here. Attaboy, Darren.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Regular Woodford or double oaked? Juju Smith-Schuster, Deontay Johnson did not practice this Wednesday, so keep an eye on that. Either of them missed. Chase Claypool obviously goes up. The rye. Sweet. Yeah, one of the things I did not guess. So Woodford's good. So anyway, Chase Claypool drew top coverage last week. Do you think that's going to be a normal thing for Chase Claypool?
I mean, if a 6'4", 235-pound guy can run a 4.4, sub 4.4, is killing people on the outside. I mean, we know how good Juju and Deontay is, but Chase is probably the guy that can break open the game, especially, Pittsburgh is trying to, to make sure that he gets the football in his hands. This could turn into like a similar DK, situation where he may not have, big games every week, but he's going to have some explosive stat lines.
No, and I'm with you as far as Chase Claypool goes. And the thing is, the team starts saying, hey, we're going to let him try to win through James Conner and Deontay and Juju. We are not going to let Chase Claypool get us because he can break her. That's what you're going to see more often. So, yeah. Bruce Arians says wide receiver Antonio Brown's going to be ready to go for Week 9 against the Saints. Antonio Brown was signed to a contract late last week. We did not talk about that on the show. We did talk about it briefly on the live stream. My thought was that, maybe it hurts Godwin, but Dan said more likely Evans, who's been the least used. So, yeah.
I think it puts a cap. I think it puts the ceiling, a cap on their ceiling a little bit.
Same thing with Scotty. It drops Miller's floor.
Oh yeah, no, it kills Miller. If Brown is to become the 3, regardless if he plays in the slot or the outside, between him, Godwin, and Evans, that's probably your 3 set by at least Week 10, if not during Week 9. You can say goodbye to Scotty Miller and Tyler Johnson for this year. Why I think it hurts Evans is it just gives Brady that similar intermediate weapon that he has in Godwin. It's more comfortable level, unless Evans just run deep. Think of like he has Mike Williams to now 2 Keenan Allens, where I think Mike will have some big games. I just don't think it's going to be a headache, in my opinion.
Sure. Miles Sanders did not practice on Wednesday, so Boston Scott is looking like he's probably going to play again if Miles can't make a return here in the next day or two. It's already Wednesday when we're recording this, so not looking too great for Miles Sanders this week.
I don't think he plays. I think
it's Boston Scott again.
Yeah, I mean they get Dallas this week, which is almost a bye week in itself. So.
Bruce Arian labeled Leonard Fournette as nickel running back, so there you go. That's the flex option out of that backfield.
Fun with that one, man.
Chris Carson's a game time decision with his foot. Michael Thomas did not practice Wednesday. He's trending towards missing again. So, yeah.
I don't think Thomas plays either.
I don't think Thomas plays. Marquez Callaway was dealing with some things, and I haven't seen anything out of Emmanuel Sanders either. So Deontay Harris could be your best option.
Who does Saints play this week? The Bears, right?
Bears, yeah. Tough defensive matchup too.
Saints are Bears are +4 at home. Early report that might be the right call.
It might be because Saints pass rush isn't. I'm right this time, not like when I said it about the Bucs. Saints pass rush is not elite, so Foles may have a little bit more time to make some of those things work. Although it's not going to solve for Demetrius Harris being on the field or targeting Darnell Mooney and corner out in the back of the end zone when you have Jimmy Graham, Cole Kmet, Allen Robinson, Javon Wims, who's like 6'9" or something.
Ronald Jones is dynasty value. It's like I've been talking about it, just like with Connor and with Chris Carson. It's a ticking time bomb. You want to hold on to it as long as you can. That's your choice. But at any moment, it could just blow up in your face. And you're looking at a guy who could maybe yield at early second, around there. You could probably get a second for him now easily. Maybe try to swindle someone for first if you add something on to Jones. But if Fournette does take away what he took away on Sunday from Jones, it's going to continue to lower his value. It's going to become a Patriots backfield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the thing that is tough, Leonard Fournette on a 1-year deal. LaShawn McCoy, 1-year deal. Ronald Jones still on a rookie deal in his second or third season.
Ronald Jones is in his third season.
So they'll have to make a decision on his 5th-year option, or he wasn't a first-round pick, so he doesn't have a 5th-year option. So he's going to be entering the last year of his deal and looking to get paid. You might get another year out of him before you enter some of that question mark territory, but you've got to trust the Bucs long term, and the Bucs aren't set up for long term. So, I would say, especially if you're not positioned to surefire win now, that he's a flip piece. He's not a hold.
Hey, I honestly think if no matter what position you're in, you should be looking to move Jones. You should be either pairing up with somebody and trying to get a more of a sure thing for this year, or try to position yourself in a way where you can get a decent draft pick in return. Jones's value is going to be tied into where the Bucs are next year, and that's still not guaranteed that he's going to get starter snaps, especially if Fournette's still on the team who can kind of fill more of that workhorse role. Jones is generally a drop pass away, a missed pass protection away from being benched. Fournette's not great at pass protection either, but he can catch the football a lot better than Jones.
Yeah, and it just depends, though, right? Are they going to pay Fournette? Are they going to re-sign Fournette? And I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think they do. Looking at some other news, Cowboys released part of their defense. Aaron Jones is sidelined Wednesday's practice with his calf, so
It's expected he may not go.
So you'd be back to Jamal Williams again.
And it's a favorable matchup against Minnesota.
Yep. Tim Patrick injured his hamstring. He's not practicing, so you'd basically left with Jerry Jeudy and Noah Fant. So keep an eye on that situation. Michael Pittman designated to return. Joe Mixon with his foot is not practicing on Wednesday. He had the foot injury going into last week, I believe, and didn't play. So keep an eye on that.
Yep.
Picking up on it. Mark Ingram not practicing. Stay away from that anyway. Philip Lindsay not practicing with a concussion. So same thing with Andy Dalton. So a lot of people not cleared from concussion protocol.
Tevin Coleman is returning from IR.
Yeah. Allen Robinson in concussion protocol. Tevin Coleman's kind of a big deal because they lost Jeff Wilson. So, I mean, they're just down to Jerick McKinnon and JaMychal Hasty.
Hasty all the way.
Yeah. It is Hasty all the way. Jalen Reagor's practicing again, so he could make his return after Deshaun Jackson went out and played 1 week and then ended his season. So, more or less. So, Jalen Reagor is the next man up in that wide receiver core. John Brown returned to practice. Dalvin Cook returned to practice.
Pulling up some Chris Carson for you, Darren. Game time decision. Likely we'll know more by Friday.
Yep. Dallas Goedert. Sorry.
No, I'm just keep tune in with us Sunday morning.
Sunday morning we'll have everything new. By about 10:15. Dallas Goedert designated to return from IR. Dolphins extended Adam Shaheen, so Bears get a higher draft pick. And that might be about it.
So in updated soccer betting news, as long as Orlando doesn't blow a 3-0 lead with probably 8 minutes left, that bet's gonna hit.
Why would you bet Orlando? I don't know.
They were favorite. I don't fucking know
anything about soccer.
Why would I bet on soccer? Because it's stereo.
Because you're a fucking degenerate.
Because I'm a goddamn degenerate.
Fucking degenerate. I don't really see. And okay, I don't see anything else.
Yeah.
Panthers released Eli Apple. Oh shit!
Raiders?
Rams wave Sam Sloman.
Oh damn!
Yeah. It's gonna be replaced by Kai Forbath.
Ugh.
So, the rookie's done after a couple rough. Oh, Christian McCaffrey. Hopeful that he'll be ready. So keep an eye on that. With CMC, Devonta Freeman has an ankle injury. They've been running Wayne Gallman. Des Bryant signed on with the Ravens practice squad. Their wide receiver core has been nothing to write home about.
Yep.
Mostly because Lamar Jackson still doesn't throw to wide receivers.
And
Kenyon Drake.
Yeah.
It's probably worth it. Kenyon Drake's high ankle sprain. He's going to miss time. Chase Edmonds will draw in. You may even see Eno Benjamin mix in there a little bit. So if you're looking for a deep league pickup, Eno Benjamin's your guy. Super small back, but very, very athletic. Can definitely work in space.
Yeah. If you got an extra bench stash, I think throwing one his way. It's not the worst idea.
Yep, and Cam Akers still trash.
Cam Akers is not very good.
He's not very good. Anything from this past week that we need to talk about? We'll start out that way. I don't want to completely shaft it, but anything that you think deserves mentioning. We talked about Claypool drawing top coverage in the Open and how that is kind of impactful. Then we had a lot of good games, but there were a lot of things that were just kind of really chalk. Other than injury news, I don't know that there was anything that was a real revelation other than, what the Saints were doing with their wide receiver group, which right now, if Callaway can't go, you're pretty much looking at Deonta Harris.
I mean, I still believe in Smith, but
he was targeted, but
I mean, it's a plus matchup this week. What's figured to be their high scoring. I'm sorry,
it's the Bears.
Run week.
No, it absolutely
No, it's
doesn't.
not.
It doesn't figure to be any of those things.
I don't know how to. It might be one of those games, at least betting wise. I'm saying from, Saints missing a lot of their top catchers. You can sit there and say that Kamara should see a bunch of work, but when there's only one playmaker, and that's
And you
still
have
a running back,
highly athletic linebackers, and if you're not worried about blitzing Drew Brees because of coverage,
that might be money line Bears. This might be.
I think
the
it
Bears
is.
going to get their comeback here.
My ass if I'm putting that one in a parlay.
We'll save that one for later. No, I don't think there's much of anything. Deontay Johnson gives Pittsburgh a really good three-headed receiving core. I still think Pittsburgh's the best team in
It's
football.
four-headed. I mean, James Washington isn't slouching there either. So Pittsburgh is the most well-rounded team in football. Titans gave them a run for their money, though. We had one good call and one bad call for that guy that was in there talking about betting, whose handle I won't mention. I mean, we were spot on with Tennessee, and I missed badly on the Packers.
Yeah, Tennessee or the Steelers made my butthole fucking clench with that was where a lot of my money was put on, was Pittsburgh, and while it started out great, boy, they really they made me fucking earn it. So
yeah, they did. But they remain balanced on offense, and defense still looks good. Rams proved they could win in a smash mouth game. Cam Akers is droppable at this point if you're still holding on to him.
Redraft. Don't drop him in Dynasty.
No, you can drop him there too, probably. No, at least in my opinion.
Don't drop him in Dynasty.
Nah,
or drop him in leagues that
trade him to somebody that still believes in him.
That's sure.
Let them deal with the headache. Because he was third on the totem pole again. Darrell Henderson continued to work lead back there. So, yeah, we'll have some more fun preview stuff, or maybe not, review stuff for you next week. But I do want to take a look at, kind of your team rankings and your fantasy leaders and some of your target leaders and things like that, and just talk about some guys that might be surprising there, some guys that are higher up than we thought as we get to the midway point of the season. And then talk about maybe even some rookies that are showing out. Van Jefferson's flashed a little bit. Freddie Swaim's flashed a little bit. So some rookies that, are showing up that we didn't necessarily expect to show up in year one. So that being said, we got some games to preview. So let's go ahead and preview week 8, week 7. Week 8?
Week 8.
My God, the season's going fast.
No, right?
All right, Falcons-Panthers goes tomorrow. You've got the Panthers favored by 2, plus 114 on the Falcons' money line. Over-under in this game, 51.5. So, Panthers have been better than expected. I did pick them to cover against the Saints.
Same here.
And they did.
It's a great call.
As far as the Panthers against the Falcons, look, I think the over in this one has a chance of hitting. A good chance of hitting.
I mean, I feel comfortable with it. I actually kind of hope McCaffrey doesn't play.
Yeah.
You kind of get what you've gotten from Carolina. People will look at their matchup from a few weeks ago where it was more of a low-scoring game. Got to remember that was still with Dan Quinn. Since they fired Quinn and their GM, they put up 40 against Minnesota. They had a bit of a down week against the Lions, but Carolina's defense is also bad. This is a divisional matchup. I do expect some fireworks to be scored here. Detroit's kind of underperformed from the offensive standpoint, where Carolina hasn't.
Yeah, Carolina's performed well. So if I'm looking at betting this game, I'm probably looking at the over. I don't love the spread or the money line just because, I'm not necessarily sure on what's going to win. I might take an alternate spread, put the Falcons at, maybe more than a field goal. But I don't
like
love
more
it
of the prop bet plays.
Yeah,
I like more of the prop bet plays this week.
Yeah, I would look at Robbie Anderson prop bet wise, DJ Moore prop bet wise. Obviously your Falcons. Mike Davis's receiving prop bets have been almost money. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm with you. As far as fantasy goes, we just mentioned it. Robbie Anderson got off to a hot start, coming off of a down week against the, had a down week against the Bears. Expect him to pick right back up and continue with the way he started against this Falcons defense. DJ Moore should have a good week. Made the mistake of benching him last week. The 1 week I bench him because I'm like, hey, T. Higgins is a better play. Well, T. Higgins didn't make me pay for it. DJ Moore had the better week. Mike Davis is normal outside of Ian Thomas. Just start your Panthers. Teddy Bridgewater's a solid streaming play. Probably the only time I'll say that this year. But Teddy Bridgewater's a solid stream.
He's been a solid stream option for.
He has been.
Basically, you're playing every single
fantasy relevant piece.
Sans maybe Ian Thomas, who really isn't relevant anyway. So. Yep. Yeah, it's a great week for. This is a great Thursday, potentially a great Thursday night game to get your fantasy week started.
Yep. Colts Lions over under on this one's 50. I almost like the under here, just because both offenses have been underperforming in my estimation.
Especially it's. I'm not the biggest fan. I mean, yeah, I'm with you. 50 points is still a lot of points for two kind of underachieving, one underachieving and one kind of on par with scoring. I didn't expect the Colts to be barn burners by any means. Yeah,
Colts are favored by 2.5, and this is another one that I just look at and I'm like, yeah, that could really go either way. It's pretty much a coin flip of a game.
I like the Colts. If I'm betting, I'll take the Colts spread here.
It's only because the defense. I mean, the Lions did come out and hold Atlanta's offense in check, which is not worth nothing.
That's true. That is.
So
they definitely overachieved.
Yeah, and I just think that this is primarily set up to hit the under. As far as fantasy options go. You're not in love with anything. DeAndre Swift is eating into Adrian Peterson's workload, so I'm okay with him as a flex play. Not a great week last week. He did save his day with a touchdown and have some work in the receiving game. Kenny Golladay, you're obviously going to play him. Marvin Jones hasn't been worth shit. TJ Hawkinson, as far as tight ends goes, is a top 7 to 8 guy, so you can pretty much run him out there and not worry too much about it. As for the Colts, it's Jonathan Taylor or bust, essentially, for them.
Maybe Trey Burton has been involved. I mean, it depends how Mo Alley Cox is. You're not really playing the receivers here. Nothing is really.
Nothing. Yeah,
it's been Marcus Johnson 1 week. Ty had
you had Zach Pascal 1 week. You had Michael Pittman to start the season. Yeah.
It's Jonathan Taylor, which should be a decent matchup, game script wise. I think neutral. And he gets involved in the passing game. And you mentioned it with Detroit. Swift, Galladay, don't love Stafford. Don't mind the defenses. Even Detroit, if they can get, a couple sacks and a pick on Rivers.
Matt Prater, if you need to stream a kicker.
Airfield with the kicker news.
We've been slacking on the kicker advice this year.
We have been.
And
we apologize, guys.
Yeah, Matt Prater, if you need a kicker. Raiders, Browns. Browns favored in this one by 2.5. They look better without Odell.
Honestly, I think Baker just plays better when there's not an alpha, baby receiver trying to, I guess fuck with Gesicki. Like he has to give him 10 targets. I think this offense fits better when you get more of your quiet types in the locker room and don't, check, Baker's ego.
Yeah. Odell Beckham, by the way, torn ACL. We didn't mention that in the news segment. So there you go. He's done for the year. Browns play better though. I'm all over the Browns at -2.5, or just the money line, honestly. Or no, sorry, I like the spread more. Better odds.
A couple guys to note: Donovan Peoples-Jones, DPJ,
4 targets and a touchdown. Look good.
The game-winning touchdown. Rashard Higgins should be the de facto 2. Harrison Bryant, 2 red zone touchdowns. We know Baker loves his tight ends. Even Njoku got involved.
Yeah.
If Austin Hooper is to miss another week,
Yeah, and he's still.
I think Bryant's a fine play.
Cooper's still limited at practice, so Harrison Bryant, as a rookie, came out, looked good. Dynasty leagues of Harrison Bryant's floating around out there. It wasn't a highly heralded tight end class. Make sure you go out and grab him, because Njoku, Browns are probably going to move on from him.
Yeah, he's probably done. I mean,
he's entering year. I mean, this is year 4 for him. So
he was a first round pick. Yes.
I don't think they picked up his option though.
No, it was Ingram. I swear, yeah, it was Ingram, Howard, and Njoku.
Yeah,
we're all first round picks.
I don't think they picked up his option though. So
I mean, there's no reason to.
No, so. I think he's gone after this season, and Bryant could be the future there. Jarvis Landry is essentially a must start, just like Kareem Hunt is. In the absence of Chubb and Beckham. So, but Donovan Peoples-Jones, not a bad pickup in stream against the Raiders defense that is okay, but not great. As far as the Raiders go, you've gotten decent work out of Nelson Aguilar the last couple of weeks.
The guy has found his hands.
He did.
Yeah.
I want you to know that I never stopped believing. So, yeah. Nelson Aguilar is not a bad go, and then you're pretty much going Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
You could look at
with your main Raiders.
Could look at Derek Carr as a streaming option. Yeah. You could. Baker Mayfield, by the way, good streaming option as well.
Let's hope so.
I actually just picked him up in my waiver wire roulette league, which is a really fun league that has benches.
Okay, yeah. I love style leagues.
Yeah, that's a league that's no bench. So it's no bench, and this year it's all play.
Nice.
So because of COVID, so they just went with total points. So it's almost like best ball, but you have to play waivers for it. So all right, moving on. I don't think we have anything else on the Raiders Browns. Rams Dolphins.
Tua.
Yeah, Tua, so we don't really know what we're going to get.
Rams are only 3-point favorite. Wow.
I almost like some money on. I almost like the Rams spread.
That's what I'm saying. 3 points is that's a gift.
And the thing with that is you got 3-point favorites against a Rams defense that just looked really good against the Bears. Rams defense was a weakness last year, but after watching them play, it's the first game that I've really gotten to sit down and just watch the Rams. Aaron Donald's still a monster. Leonard Floyd looks better than he did in Chicago. And, that defense has actually not looked bad.
And it hasn't been. It's had its moments, but it hasn't been. It held the Cowboys to what? Like 17 points in week 1?
Yeah. So, not easy sledding for Tua in his first start, and we don't really know what we're going to get out of that. So, for the Rams, it's Henderson, Woods, Kupp. Dolphins defense has also been good. So, Goff can be streamed. I don't like him as much as I like Carr or Baker or, former Vikings, Teddy Bridgewater. This week.
You're not getting cute and playing Tua unless you are you're in 2 QB dynasty desperation mode. I'm pumped to watch. I'm pumped to see him play.
Yeah, Myles Gaskin.
This is not an easy matchup.
It's not. No, it'll be fun to watch, but it's not an easy matchup, which means you need to temper expectations for the Dolphins offense. Myles Gaskin will probably be a safety blanket, but he does not have an easy go. Particularly against the Rams front 4. The linebackers are not great. So it's not a total sit on Myles Gaskin, but you may have better options given injuries elsewhere. As far as Devontae Parker, you can play him. I think that Gesicki might serve as more of a safety blanket here. But
yeah,
I really kind of want to stay away from the Dolphins offense outside of Gaskin and
Parker. I'm with you there. I mean
Parker's going to draw Ramsey.
True. You can. I think it's not a bad idea to fade all Dolphins, including Gaskin. Obviously, it might be harder to fade a running back who's getting starter snaps and opportunity share, but
especially given some of the injuries that you have with Nick Chubb, Saquon
exactly.
Barkley.
So it's more of a temper expectations.
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey. So it might be difficult to completely not roll Gaskin.
But just you're likely. You're likely playing Gaskin and Parker with lower expectations because, again, just like with running backs, receivers have taken a bit of a hit.
Yep.
From the injury front.
They have. All right, Minnesota, Green Bay. Green Bay favored by 6.5. That is probably going to happen.
I am setting up my 4-team parlay just to save, and that one is one of the main highlights. I don't know how the Packers aren't at least
2 touchdown
a
favorites.
touchdown. At least I won't even. Yeah, I won't say 2 touchdowns, but at least 2 scores. Like 7.5 seems fair. Like the fact that we're getting, a touchdown, an extra point spread here it's great. Like this screams even without Williams, while it's not on Jones's level. Minnesota's defense, who they just traded away their top pass rusher, which they traded for in the offseason. This team is in rebuild mode, and for betting wise, especially on the road in Green Bay, this screams Green Bay wins by at least 10. At least. If you're right, if not, 2 touchdowns.
No, I think it does, and I think that you could even go alternate spread on this one and take it 2 over a touchdown if you want Green Bay better odds.
This is like, oh my god, yeah, this is like what Buffalo should have done against the Jets last week. What Green Bay might do to the Vikings.
Yep. That being said, that means there's going to be a lot of passing on the part of the Vikings. So Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen both plays. Dalvin Cook's back. You're obviously playing him. You might get some garbage from Cousins. Again, he's kind of more closer to Jared Goff, not premium tier streamer, but you could do worse. So as far as the Packers go, you're chalk there. It's going to be Devontae Adams, Jamal Williams if Aaron Jones doesn't go. Aaron Jones if he does. Tunyon and Tunyons of Funyuns.
Yeah, Tunyons of Funyuns.
Yep. And Rodgers.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So.
Hopefully they make a trade. Obviously, guys out there, if you don't know, trade deadline is tomorrow for the NFL. I think it's 4 p.m. Eastern. There might be some fireworks. Green Bay is in the market for number 2 receiver. Hearing some rumors on potentially Will Fuller as one of those targets.
Yeah, Will Fuller would be interesting.
Great.
I mean, it's almost like they could have drafted somebody. Just
yeah,
saying.
It's almost like this is a really good receiving class. We think so.
They've been solid. I mean,
they've been pretty good.
Just maybe. I mean,
what's
what do we
going on,
know?
Jack?
Jordan Love, was available. So
Jack wants to know better streamer this week with Kyler Murray on a bye. Bridgewater, Brady, or Wentz?
Well, I like Bridgewater a lot this week against Atlanta. I'll check the other 2 matchups. Brady's got the Giants. That game script's going to get out of hand.
Yeah, you're hoping for passing touchdowns for those touchdowns. I'm going Bridgewater.
I'm going Bridgewater. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because with Brady, you're hoping for passing touchdowns, and I think that game script gets out of hand. Eagles and Dallas, that game could potentially be low scoring and kind of a grinded out win for Philly. And if the pass rush gets after it, then your game script's out of hand. So
yeah. Wentz has been really good, but he's done it at times where they're playing from behind. I don't see Philly play from behind in this game. This seems like it's a coasted game. Corey Clement, Boston Scott. Maybe they get Rager back this week, and you may see some fireworks, but Bridgewater is to play for fantasy.
Yeah, he is. I agree. All right, Patriots, Bills. Bills favored by 3.5. Patriots offenses looked like dog shit. Over under on this one, it's 42.5.
I'm staying away.
No, I am with you because this could be a get right game for New England, given how not great Buffalo's looked, or this could just be Buffalo trouncing them.
I added Buffalo to my main 4-team
Spread.
parlay. It's my main 14 parlay. I do. It is a spread. I think New England's in just shit mode. Cam has not looked the same since he's gotten back from COVID, and the fact that he got benched just could create this, just with just that unease. I think Buffalo does step it up in this divisional matchup against an opponent that's been beating the shit out of them for the last 20 years.
Yeah. No, Buffalo. I like the Buffalo spread call. I even may like the Buffalo money line call, honestly, a little more than the spread, just because
I like
the
better odds. Like I think they'll beat them by more than 4 points. So
sure. That being said, as far as this game goes, I'm staying away from Devin Singletary. I don't think this turns into a game script where he's going to be able to take it over. John Brown, Stephon Diggs. I'm tepid.
I honestly think it's just Josh Allen and Diggs between both teams.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
I mean, this isn't going to be a high-scoring game.
As long as Cam,
obviously Vegas thinks that. I think it's the lowest scoring game on the slate.
As long as Cam's in, your Damian Harris value is killed. James White hasn't really been utilized as much as he has in years past.
Had 2 targets last week? That's it.
Oh my God.
What?
The Jets-Chiefs odds.
I know. That's actually gone down. It actually opened at 21.
Holy shit.
And I'm not adding it to any parlays. I'm going to just
I'm gonna throw $1
single bet it.
I'm gonna throw $1 on the Jets.
I'm gonna throw I'll put like $5 or $10 on the Chiefs. I like to see if these massive spread games hit. The Chiefs have covered a game finally though.
Yeah.
And Buffalo's inability to score a touchdown. So
no, I'm gonna throw $1 on the Jets at plus 1,300 and see what happens.
Oh, try to win $130. I like it.
I mean, why not? I mean, other than the fact that there's no chance in hell that they win. Not a snowball's chance in hell.
Not a snowball's chance in hell.
My lord. All right, what are we doing with this one other than not betting it? Or definitely betting it? Chiefs favored by 19.5. Jets are plus 1,300, which is absurd.
You can't bet these outside of spreads. You really can't bet these games. And if you want to bet the spread, I mean, maybe you try to tease down the Chiefs to give yourself a little bit of something. But it's just one of those games where you're like I can't put them in parlay bets because you're not getting a good money line bet either way. Obviously, the Jets aren't going to beat the Chiefs on the road, and the over/under is you're praying that the Chiefs could score enough to kind of cover both teams because it's not like Darnold's look great either.
Yeah, you're hoping the Chiefs score 49, and I think that they just get up and they don't score 49.
And they coast. Le'Veon Bell revenge game, as Matt Hicks pointed out on Twitter. Shout out to our boy Matt.
That's actually a really good call.
He says he doesn't buy into revenge games, but
this
he
is
says
a revenge game.
There is no fucking way that Bell does not score against the Jets.
Yeah. No, you're starting Le'Veon Bell. You're starting Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Hill, Mahomes, Kelsey, obviously. For the Jets,
Crowder's healthy.
Crowder, if he's healthy.
Mims was on the field for every passing play. The dude is already taken over in those 3 receiver sets. They're going to have to throw. And
they are. Maybe Darnold.
Especially if Crowder's out.
Garbage time Sam Darnold.
Yeah, if you want to get cute.
That is the most absurd odds I've seen in 3 years.
Since, was it the Broncos Jacksonville from like 7 years ago when it was plus 24.5?
Yeah. Holy shit.
Good times.
Pittsburgh.
How about a better game, though?
Pittsburgh, Baltimore. Baltimore's favored.
The Pittsburgh money line. This is where I generally like to add one random, one kind of asshole, clincher, and I'm writing Pittsburgh 2 weeks in a row here. I really like this call. It opened at 5.5, at 5.5 or 6.5 for Baltimore, and it keeps pushing towards Pittsburgh. We said it, and we both agree. Pittsburgh's the most complete team in football right now. Baltimore is what they've been since Lamar Jackson's taken over, and that's a team that at times will struggle against these top tier opponents. They got their ass handed to them by Kansas City a few weeks ago, and you get a healthy Deontay Johnson back. Big Ben is rolling right now. Well, I think this game is close. I think Pittsburgh beats them.
I think Pittsburgh beats them too. I love the Pittsburgh money line in this one. As far as fantasy options for Baltimore, look, you can Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews there. As far as for Pittsburgh, that gets a little more interesting. Because I don't see anybody having a type of just go off game here. I think that it's going to have to be, spread it out and kind of a team win if they get it. So, James Conner. But outside of that, Claypool, I'm fading because I don't think the Ravens are going to let Claypool beat them. Deontay Johnson's got the volume, so he might be the only one I want to play.
I still like Juju. I mean, the Baltimore secondary and just their defense in general is really good. Like, this game should be close. This should be game script neutral for both teams. I don't see either team. I can see a team getting up by 2 scores, but the game still feeling relatively close. And so trying to play their game. I don't know if Baltimore is going to try to do away with Chase. Obviously, with Johnson back and with Juju, I don't think they go the Tennessee route. I think they're arrogant enough to try to play these guys one up on them. I don't know if I want to feel confident playing Chase, I would feel more confident playing Juju and Johnson, but I don't think Chase is completely dead in the water.
Yeah, I mean, they'll try to get it involved. I'm not saying dead in the water. I just don't think the Ravens let that happen. It's just my feeling. They're going to look at him and be like, he's not beating us.
And you might be right. And maybe they take a page out of Tennessee's book and take away.
That's exactly what I think it is. You take away Chase and you make Deontay and Juju and Ben and Connor beat you. Titans Bengals. Titans favored by 5.5 in this one. -245. I like Titans spread. Bengals are a team that's been getting better as we predicted, but the Titans are just good.
Get right game. I think I like your call. If you're doing a spread or a money line or spread lineup here, I think you're fine. Cincinnati's played teams tough. They play Cleveland tough. They play Indy tough. I don't think they're on their level at Tennessee. But Tennessee is also kind of downplayed to their opponents. Tight game against Minnesota and a tight game against Houston. 5.5 might be a sweet spot, but I feel a little more comfortable Tennessee money line and a money line parlay.
Yeah. Over under 53.5 in this one. As far as fantasy options, look, AJ Green's turned it up the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
So you're definitely looking at AJ Green. You're looking at whatever Bengals running back is starting. T. Higgins is also a must play. And
Tyler Boyd.
And the fact that the Bengals are playing from behind, you cannot like all of them without liking Joe Burrow. He's in the same tier of streamer for me as Teddy Bridgewater is. He's been upwards of 250 yards, I think, every week.
And the Titans defense, while it can be good at times,
hasn't been great.
They're giving up a lot of points.
They are. So I like Joe Burrow as a streaming option if he's available out there.
I like that call.
Yep. As for the Titans, Derrick Henry, this is a game that he can absolutely just own.
He might go for 250.
Yeah, it's Derrick Henry, AJ Brown.
I also played Jonnu.
You're not sitting Jonnu.
I love his upside.
Yeah, amongst tight ends, you are not sitting Jonnu. That's a good call out.
I think this is a good overcall, even at 53.5. These Tennessee games, because they keep the games close, or they start to downplay their opponents and then they come back. I think this is a good over. A good over game. If I'm not mistaken, I think almost every game of theirs has gone over.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been putting points on the board.
They have. And they've been getting up a lot of points on the board.
Chargers Broncos, good showdown of young quarterbacks here, but Locke's probably going to be missing some weapons. The Chargers money line.
Locke has not looked good. Like he looked atrocious against Kansas City last week.
Well, and he
And
hasn't. I was just gonna say he hasn't had his whole offense either. I mean,
he has not. You are right.
Lindsey got concussed. He's been missing Cortland Sutton all season. Jerry Jeudy has not been as good as other wide receivers in this class. Wasn't ready to step in and take on Cortland Sutton's role. Tim Patrick, we've seen step up and be good, but
he's banged up.
He's banged up now. Noah Fant's been banged up. So, what it is, but even the Chargers spread, it's only a 3-point spread. I like that too.
Yeah, Denver's defense is still good.
They are.
They're not great as they used to be, but they're still good. I don't like a game from the betting standpoint. Chargers money line I think is still a good call. The spread's okay. The
spread's okay.
Too. Like if you think they're going to win, they're probably going to win by more than 3. But this is a good test-em game for Herbert. Divisional opponent.
Strong defense, division opponent.
Yeah, I mean, this could be. I wouldn't be surprised if Herbert kind of comes back down to earth, even though this is a very winnable game for the Chargers.
I think this game's played close.
I probably won't bet this game.
I think this game's going to be played close. Melvin Gordon revenge game.
And there's no Philip Lindsay.
Yeah, I mean,
he carries away. Yeah,
I say that tongue in cheek. You're playing Melvin Gordon.
You're playing Melvin.
You're playing Jerry Jeudy if Tim Patrick can't go because he's it.
Playing Fant.
If Patrick can go, play Fant, not Jeudy.
Yeah. Obviously Gordon. Yeah.
Yeah, Fant, you're fine. From the Chargers side, I try to steer clear of the running backs in this one.
I don't really love either.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Jackson or Kelly this week. Keenan Allen's been good. Herbert has been so good. Herbert has been so good that it's going to be hard to sit him.
I agree. I mean, I know I had somebody from work who has Herbert on his fantasy league. He did bring up. I know you won't agree with this call, but he brought up Teddy Bridgewater, and I told him I'd play Bridgewater over Herbert this week.
No, I agree with that call this week because I think Bridgewater's positioned to have a really good game, and I think that Herbert's positioned to have kind of one of those meh games like what you've gotten out of Deshaun Watson a couple times this year, where you're in the teens in points, or what Matthew Stafford's been most of the season. I think Bridgewater's positioned to be better than that this week, whereas Herbert, I think, is going to have more of he's not going to kill you. But, you're getting his floor.
I like that call.
Saints-Bears. Saints missing a lot of pieces. Bears plus 188. Bears plus 4. I like the Bears money line, and I like the spread, honestly. And I'm not just saying that as a Bears fan. With the Saints missing as many pieces as they are and not having a pass rush that should allow Nick Foles some time, I think that this game tilts a little bit towards the Bears. I think I like the money line more than the spread.
Yeah, if I do a spread parlay and then I do a strictly money line, I'll add the Bears on probably to that just to kind of help bump the odds. I think this is a very winnable game. They're at home, as you mentioned. The Saints don't have the same type of pass rush that the Rams do. And the Saints are missing a lot of important pieces on that offense. But I still think Kamara won't get his own, but this is not a great matchup for him. 43.5 to over under. I'm staying away from that. I think that's set perfectly. Yeah. I don't see Breeze coming. Road Breeze outdoors coming into Chicago and lighting the world on fire.
No,
I think this is a very grind-em game. I think if you want to get cute, you can take the under here. I think that'll hit. I don't think either team will win by more than 6.
Yeah, the under very well could hit on this 43.5. Especially if Allen Robinson doesn't play. As far as the Bears go, Allen Robinson's in concussion protocol. Keep an eye on that. If Allen Robinson doesn't go,
don't bet this game. Just let it go.
Yeah, and stay clear of the Bears in fantasy.
He is the only piece I want to play.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to try to guess if more of the target work's going to go to Jimmy Graham or Cole Kmet or weirdly Demetrius Harris or Darnell Mooney or, Cordero Patterson on a run for whatever fucking reason. Still bitter about that. I would steer clear of the Bears, maybe David Montgomery, just because he's the only thing that's guaranteed any form of volume.
Yeah, we mentioned running backs being a little more scarce with buys and injuries. So,
and I still don't love that.
Yeah, I don't either.
As far as the Saints go, it's Kamara. Latavius Murray's an okay flex if you are, down somebody this week. He's been all right. Yeah. Niners Seahawks. This game's a little bit better. Seahawks favored by 2.5 in this one. Over under is 54. I like the over, as I do with most Seahawks games.
Niners have been playing better. Seattle is just elite, I think.
But the defense isn't.
Yeah, exactly. And they're no Deebo Samuel though. I probably won't take the over under. Like if I had to take one, I'd take the over. I just don't like betting unders if I can.
Seahawks money line.
Seahawks money line. I the 2.5 is it's essentially a pick'em game. The fact that Seattle can't get 3 points at home.
No.
I don't like it.
And the spread's got better odds, so you may just as well do that. As far as fantasy goes, for San Francisco, we mentioned JaMychal Hasty. He's a solid pickup. And, you got Tevin Coleman coming off of IR. He's been mostly ineffective. Jerick McKinnon hasn't looked good. JaMychal Hasty's been their best back. George Kittle figures to get the majority of the passing work. Brandon Ayuk is a start.
Yeah, I think Ayuk, Hasty. I think you play Hasty if it's tough. I think if Coleman's active, I don't want to play Hasty. I can see Kyle Shanahan getting cute with having then 3 active running backs with McKinnon and Hasty. I'll stick with I do like the IU call with Kittle for sure though.
Yeah. If I have to play a back, I'm going Hasty out of this 3.
Okay. Yep. I agree with that.
But I like Ayuk. For the Seahawks, keep an eye on Chris Carson's status and Carlos Hyde's for that matter. And Travis Homer's for that matter, because they're all banged
DJ
up.
Dallas season.
Could be DJ Dallas. In all seriousness, 49ers not a great team to run against. You're more looking Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Russ Wilson. And that's it.
That's it. I actually don't hate the 49ers money line.
Or
if you're making Seattle one-dimensional, it like with how good their passing is, it still hurts the team. So
yeah. Eagles Cowboys. Eagles negative 420. They're favored by 8.5.
It isn't just me, but is it hard to think that? Is it hard to see this Philly team actually covering 8.5 points?
Yes, it is. I think that you take Dallas at plus 8.5.
I want absolutely nothing to do with this shit show.
I might do a parlay of I don't want to do this, but it just $1 bets and see what happens.
You pick all the games you want nothing to part of. You pick one spread or money line. Yeah. And you do a $1 bet to see what happens.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, fucking Dallas at plus 8.5 makes sense, and I don't like that makes sense. Under makes sense.
I think I still stick with the over. I just don't. I guess if you think this game goes over, then you have to imagine Philly can beat Dallas by 10. Washington beat Dallas by a lot. So why can't Philly, right? It just screams like an underachieving
true. Better pass
game.
Rush, it does. And especially Ben DiNucci's playing.
Oh God!
Of course, then
maybe
Ben
Philly
DiNucci's
does actually cover 8.5 points.
Yeah, I'm more on. I don't want anything to do with this.
Yeah. As for fantasy,
play whatever running back's healthy. If it's Sanders, it's Sanders. If it's not, it's Scott.
Zeke, Cooper, Lamb.
Yeah, Zeke, Cooper, Lamb. For Philly, Fulgham.
If Rager doesn't go, I still like Greg Ward.
Rager does go. Watch and see.
Yeah. Don't play Rager. It's going to be really tempting in a very juicy matchup. Just
Philly.
I think Wentz is fine. You're still playing Wentz.
Philly defense.
He's a QB1.
Philly defense is a good stream against a bad O-line with a good pass rush.
You can even play Jake Elliott. He's only attempted, I think, 2 field goals this year.
Yep. All right. Last game. Bucks Giants. Bucks favored by 10.5. -550.
You can play both Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette in this game, probably.
You can, because I like that 10.5-point spread. And I don't normally like double-digit spreads. That's normally a no-go for me. I like this
You could bump this to the fucking Chiefs and Jets line. I still like Tampa Bay.
I do too. Look, the only problem with that is that they're not going to have to throw a lot. So Tom Brady, we mentioned it earlier, he's in streamer status this week because they aren't going to have to throw a lot. Chris Godwin, you're fine with. Mike Evans is a sit at this stage.
Hey, yeah, I mean, he's in timeout, right? Like
he's got to be in timeout. You can't run him out there. Scotty Miller's outperforming him.
I mean, Tyler Johnson's outperforming him.
Yep.
And he's seeing like 5% snaps. Like,
yep. So
Mike Evans is a decoy until proven otherwise, and he's in timeout. Don't drop him.
Yep.
Put him in timeout.
Chris Godwin, Scotty Miller. Oh, excuse me.
Godwin isn't playing. Godwin is out for.
He's out. Oh yeah, I saw that. He had his index finger, thumb surgery. Or
Scotty Miller,
Gronk,
Tyler. I mean, this could be a game where you can play Mike Evans because Brown can't play till week 9. No Godwin, Scotty Miller, Mike Evans could get a big play. I mean, if they get up big, somebody scores some touchdowns.
Both running backs though is the big one. Both running backs, Gronk and Scotty Miller is probably where I'm going.
Yeah, I still like Evans this week, despite everything. I think Brady's okay. I think you're just tempting fate. And even Tyler Johnson in super deep leagues. I think the guys has scored in back-to-back games. He's seen usage, and when Godwin was out, he put up mid-wide receiver 2 numbers.
Giants, Darius Slayton, Evan Ingram.
Just Darius Slayton.
Evan
Ingram it's like he may be traded tomorrow.
Well, that would be good.
By tomorrow, maybe by Thursday, the 29th.
But that is tomorrow.
Yes. Well, I'm saying for people who listen to this show.
And missed the part earlier where I said we're recording Wednesday.
I don't know. Maybe. If they listen this far, shout out to them.
We got beer reviews to do, and then you're 5 minutes late to your raid.
I still got about 5 minutes, so. All right, I'll do my review quick here.
We're out of games to preview.
We're done.
That's why we're doing beer reviews.
True.
We're done. Yes.
It drinks like a semi-roasted chocolate bar.
Isn't a roasted chocolate bar just melted?
Yeah, it's basically that. It's not as sweet as you probably would think with that. You can definitely get the cocoa nibs, which is probably just Hershey's chocolate, added to it. So it is as advertised, and that's pretty much it.
All right, Fiesta Forever by Triptych. Malt forward. Very malt forward. Bit of caramel sweetness towards the front. Got great color to it, honestly. You get a lot of roasted and toasted notes as it finishes off. Not a ton of adjuncts thrown in this beer, which is actually kind of nice and refreshing to see. It's kind of a real classic amber. It's got great flavor all the way through. Starts off sweet, ends toasted. Very pleasant to drink, but not lacking on flavor in the least bit.
I'm a huge fan of amber lagers. I've been looking at this one for the few weeks we've had it. I may pick it up as a
Fiesta Forever
window.
It's one of the better amber lagers that I've ever had. It's one of the more flavorful ones. I would get it.
Okay. Sold.
Yep, that's my recommendation. It is one of the more flavorful amber lagers that I've had. Very good balance. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back at 10:15 a.m., 10:15 a.m., somewhere in there on Sunday, as we've notched that out as our own spot for live streams. We'll have more ins, outs, inactives. We'll talk betting, start sits, whatever you want. We'll be right at half the time.
You will be here. We'll
see
you guys
Bottle cap will do you wrong.
Bottle cap has not been great, but we will not. We will hold.
We have been better. True. Yep. All right. Thank you guys. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Nerd.
Fucking nerd.
Fucking nerd.